have I done now? Good morning, gang. Sunny day. We're now exactly at that time of year when I can't put the camera the other way, because as you can see from the shadows there, the sun is still low and it's exactly at this angle. The sun shines right into the camera. So for the next few weeks, on good days, I won't be able to put the view the other way around. I'm carving. It's downstairs. Carving. So is everybody freezing? Texas people, how are you doing? Americans, excuse me, honorary Canadians this week to show all your Americans. It's been fun reading the news. Funny, fun, whatever, reading the news from America. Tragic for some people, but whatever. The new weather. There's Texans here. There's one of the moderators is from Texas here. Vivid KP San is from Texas. I believe she's in Texas at the moment. Yeah, I'm here. Minus 60 in California? I don't think I believe that. Okay, it's going to be a carving day today. I'll be back. I'm back on the dog, or the dog creature. Back on the dog creature. We do have a show and tell. We have a fun show and tell. It's a quiet show and tell. 3 auctions that came in just the other day. Nobody was interested. Nobody, whatever. It's the same story. Nobody. Oh, I've also got to touch up carving on that thing. We'll do some normal work first. And some news about the yokai set. Move this out of the way here. The bench hasn't been used for a few days, so it's got stuff stacked up all over it. So it's from my lunch yesterday. I know I did a takeout from this Italian restaurant, pizza place up at the corner, Salvatore. And I've been doing takeout sandwiches from there. And I became a regular. I buy 2 at a time, one for me and one for Aoyama-san upstairs. And it's become a routine. It's pretty much every Friday and sometimes on Tuesday or so as well. So I just go in the door now. I go in the door and I just wave my finger at the girl too, or like this too. And she gets this out. I go off. I come back 10 minutes later. So because we're regulars, it's now a little penguin. Arigatou gozaimasu. They're nice sandwiches. Is paper out? Yes, paper is out. Ishikawa-san will be coming today. She's working on another batch of The Woman with Umbrella. She did the first batch, the print we put into the email message last night. And because she only made 30, this is really unusual. A real printer making a complicated print like that will not do just 30 prints. You spend more time mixing colors than you do printing. But it was a challenge for her, so we just did 30. And I'm convinced they're going to be sold out by this afternoon. So I've asked her to do a second batch. So she's starting on that this morning. What's in the sandwiches? They have a whole variety. The 2 we ordered was a BLT, but it's nothing like a BLT that I've ever had before. It's just some raw ham on top, and it's just great. They do them long style in a sort of, it's not like a sub because it's not a round. It's a slice of like a baguette, which is made from the Bai Bakery, and they heat it up in the pizza oven there at the last minute. It's really, really, really nice when you're here in Tokyo. No penguins in the sandwiches. Mine got a penguin, and Aoyama-san's had a bear or something, whatever. It just kids make little shapes of animals. Everybody knows how to do this. It probably stands up, actually. I don't know. No. Okay, let's get going here. Oh, they are really, really nice sandwiches. 750 yen. A little on the expensive side for lunch for Dave, but can't be helped. In normal times, so we go there for lunch, Cameron and I go there for lunch once a week on Tuesdays, in normal times, before everything else started. And they do a fixed price, what do you call it, all you can eat salad bar. You get one pasta dish from their menu, and then all you can eat on the salad, and it's really, really nice. I did that about a year ago, so I did a restaurant guide, right? Dave's guide to the restaurants in Asakusa that he's been eating at, and it's done. It's finished. They're not all gone, but well over half of them are dead. Absolutely. This thing, show. We put it out to a bunch of our fans and stuff, and a bunch of the restaurants that I eat at around here. And easily half of those are dead. I should refresh this. Well, there's no point in refreshing it yet, but when the world comes back to normal, we'll refresh it. $19 for a bowl of soba. Oh my God, I didn't know you were so rich. Wow. Well, not anymore. Wow, $19. Oh my God. That's my food budget for 2 days, a day and a half. Oh, the dog in the basket. Well, there's a bit of work here. No idea what conversation is going to come up today. We do have a show and tell, as I said. It's going to be quiet carving for most of this, for the first hour and a bit. There were a few things I was supposed to ask about. I didn't make a memo. I've forgotten. There was a few things I was supposed to talk about. It'll come up, or it won't, one or the other. Oh, it's super sharp. What's going on? Oh, I know. Soka, the last carving I did here was on the cover sheet for that yokai stuff. That's why the knife is super sharp. I did some super delicate carving the other day here. I felt a bit sad because that wasn't happening on stream. It was this block. Let's bring it out here. It was this block. I carved the cover picture for the yokai series, the new yokai match labels. Piece of boxwood. We've got some boxwood upstairs. How we almost unprepared, but it's spoiled. We can't make normal prints on it because it's split partway through. But I just need a small piece of it, so I used this for that cover picture. So that's why the knife is super sharp. I sharpened it at a bit of a more acute angle, so I've got to be careful. If I don't, it'll break really easily this morning. I see also in the emails that yokai series is off to a really good start this morning. The first batch, I don't know, it's not all sold out yet, but the first batch is lots of demand for it. So. is the outside view. Yeah, the outside view is right here. I know the camera. This camera here is the one that's looking down on the bench, and you can't quite see it, but just out the outside there, out through that gap, that's where the other camera is, sitting outside, watching the street here. And we're going to have some blossom news in a few days. You can't see it from this camera. It's just at the very right-hand side, the outside camera. There's a bit of a blue awning showing up. There's a cherry tree in front of it. It's a bit of a special cherry tree. It's called a Jugatsuzakura, an October cherry. And it blooms in February/March. And it'll be blossoming next week. We're going to get some pictures of it and show you. It's looking good. It was last night, it was like, me and I am someone out there to get some pictures, and it's ready. It's going to go pop any minute now. Did we decide on a name for a yokai? Yes, I've put the website up. I went with a calamity. Didn't you see the mail last night? Are you not on the mailing list? It went out last night, and the suggestion wasn't one that had come through the Twitch stream. I'm sorry, it had one that had come through the Instagram stream. You know, when I made my final decision on this, so it's the Instagram person. He's not here on this Twitch stream. So I said to Cameron, you've got to write back to this person. You know, he obviously, it's okay to use this, but we should what's the word? I don't know, credit him. And then I told Cameron, you can find his address, and we'll send him a set of the prints, you know, for a thank you note, you know, whatever. So we got this set up, and an email came back to Cameron through Instagram, and he passed it on to me. And it's just 3 letters. It's, oh my God. So the guy is really happy. So. There were many great. I mean, I could have picked one from a whole bunch. There were so many really good suggestions. I mean, when you take a word like yokai, it's not like saying horse or you know, the animals, a herd of cattle or whatever, where it's just sort of something boring. Because yokai are so colorful and they have so many different activities, it makes it, there's an infinite suggestion of words you could use for this. So it really was lots of good suggestions. So thank you very, very much. What's his favoritism? I don't know. I don't know the guy who sent it in. So. Do the link for the Yokai Study Group. If you go on Facebook and look for, I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, I forget what it's called. Someone must have a link for it here. It's Matt Alt's group over on Facebook. What's it called? Yokai Attack, I think, is the name of their group. No, something. Yokai something. I don't remember. Someone will come up with it here. Actually, it was. I remember now the thing I was supposed to talk about this morning. I had an experience yesterday. I gotta be careful if I tell a story, because it sounds a bit like Dave is going to grumble, complain about stuff. But there was a funny experience yesterday. I know. You know the way we're doing this package. the package for the yokai prints, we've put them on the net. It's going to be like this. The prints are inside, and it's a folded piece of washi with the prints inside. And this is the way the match label prints were done back in the old days. Here's an example from the collection. It's a folded piece of paper with a design printed on the front cover, and the match label set goes inside, and you fold it up, blah, 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 blah. So there's the way it's going to go out. This is one from our collection. So we've got our own mocked up like this. Now, what I wanted to, for the paper, for the cover, I didn't want to use our normal Iwano-san's paper. It's too thick, it's heavy. It doesn't actually fold well, even when you score it. But I wanted a nice washi. These old ones are done with a nice, smooth, it's almost a calendared surface. Really beautiful, soft, nice washi. But it's not like the kind we use from Iwano-san. So I went yesterday, I got on the train and went down to Ozu Washi. It's the biggest paper shop here in Tokyo. They've got paper from all over the country, It's about 3 or 4 stations down on the Ginza line. So I go in there and ask the lady, I take this sample with me and ask her, like, have you got any paper like this, blah, 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 blah. And it's an elderly lady. It wasn't a young girl. It was a lady about my age, I guess, so whatever. She obviously knows the place. She's been there for 1,000 years, whatever. And she said, oh, let's go and see. We go over to this place, over to one part of the stuff. She pulls out some drawers, pulls this drawer, pulls this drawer, pulls this drawer. And she's got these 3 or 4 papers, and they look really, really quite similar. So there was 2 of them that I thought, these will probably work. Let's have a go. Let's look at these. And she says, well, this is expensive stuff. This is 100% Kozo. This is from one of the top paper makers in the country, And I asked her, well, where do they come from? She says, it's from Kurodani Washi. And this is a big name. This is one of the old paper making areas in the country. It's near Kyoto. And it had a nice smooth surface. So, okay, good, thank you. Let me take 2 of these and 2 of these. I'll take them back to the workshop and work it out. Now, in a paper shop like this, what you do, they've all got these drawers. It's flat files like a map shop or whatever. So we've been pulling these drawers out and touching the paper at one corner to see it. But the customer doesn't go in there by themselves. So when I said I want 2 of these and 2 of these, I don't take the paper out. The staff, you stand back, and the staff member prepares the paper and takes over the cash register. And I was astonished at what happened next. She pulls the file out to its full length, grabs 2 sheets, picks it up, and while she's doing it, she gets her thumb on this, and I'll spoil this. She gets her thumb and holds it like this, and holds it like that, and holds it like this, and then picks it up and turns it around and holds it like this. And within seconds, the sheets of paper were all 4 sheets of paper, within seconds, were covered across their surface. As she picked it up and held it under one hand and did this, I'm like, we never touch paper like that. We hold paper by the corners, we roll it, never. And she destroyed the 4 sheets of paper and took them over to the counter. I'm following her, and when I got there, I can't do this. This paper is going to be for the cover of these things. They can't send paper out that looks like this. And I said, excuse me, chotto, and explain in Japanese, look, I'm sorry, blah, 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 you've. I said, I'm sorry about this. Maybe she thought just I was a dorky foreigner who didn't care, or maybe these days none of their customers care. I have no idea. She wasn't upset. She apologized, took the 4 sheets, put them aside, went back and got 2 more and 2 more, holding them carefully the way we do. You carry paper by the edges, or you roll it like this and you carry it like this so that it doesn't get creased. I'm just sort of in shock. This is Japan's #1. Anyway, we get to the counter, and she drapes the 4 sheets over the counter, gets me. I get my company credit card, buys these. So I get my credit card out. And she said, you need a receipt? And I say, yes, I need a receipt. So she moves over to the right next to the cash register to pull open a drawer to get a receipt. And as she does so, the counter is sort of a narrow counter, and she has draped the paper across it. And as she moves away to get the receipt, the 4 sheets of paper, she's put them on at an angle, and they slide off the counter on her side and crumple on the floor around her feet. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and I didn't say anything. Nothing I can say at that point. And she again starts the routine. Moshwakane. She goes down, picks up the 4 sheets, puts them aside, goes back. So we've now destroyed 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. We've now destroyed 8 sheets of paper, destroyed by my counting. And the rest of it, whatever, there's no story. She brings them back really carefully. She rolls them up really carefully. I stand there totally politely, not complaining, but my face is frozen, like I will never come back here again, lady. Whatever, I didn't make trouble, just paid my bill, and left. Just an astonishing experience. And this is Japan's number one paper company. The other part of the story is I get this back. This is Kurodani Washi. It's beautiful reputation, fabulous reputation. They're actually selling this for printmaking is what they're doing. It's one of the printmaking papers. This is not sized, but we get this yesterday, and I'll be sizing some this afternoon for a test. But I take it upstairs to Suga-san and Ayumi-san, who were here yesterday. And I'm thinking, by the way, I'm testing out some new paper, and I didn't tell them what for. I didn't say it was for this yokai cover. I just said, I'm trying out some new paper. We're a bit worried. Iwano-san, he's getting old, blah, 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 whatever. Oh, so show me. I said, it's from Kurodani. They said, oh, because they've heard of this, Kurodani. I pass them across these cut sheets to Ayumi-san and Suga-san. And they have the same experience as me. They hold it up to the light to see inside, and Suga-san she did a face palm. Like, we're not going to use this, are we? And I don't know if I can show you here. I don't know how. Maybe I can. Is it possible I can do this with the light? Here we are. Look at this. Look at that inside this thing. This is washi paper designed for traditional printmaking from one of Japan's top makers. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's so cloudy. It's supposed to be smooth. There's not supposed to be clumping. The kozo fiber is supposed to be beaten till all the fibers separate. Then when you put the torodo-ai, the hibiscus root goes in the vat, that helps float the fibers out. These guys could not care less. It's clumped and clumped and clumped and clumped. And this is top brand paper. Look at that. I mean, just. So I give this to Suga-san as a sample, and she's like, and I said, no, relax. We're going to use this for our wrapping paper. It doesn't matter for the wrapping paper. And she's, okay, good. She's going to be printing this week. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be the old guy grumbling here. I guess I'm the old guy grumbling here. I'm sorry, I don't know. But this is it. This is the way things are going, you know. And it's not just that the paper makers are bad people. It's the whole thing. When you don't have vividly strong consumers who know what's good and bad, then when that disappears, then the quality disappears from the production end. What's an example? I don't know, anything in consumer, an iPhone or a car, whatever. Consumers, they'll know real quickly if it doesn't work, if it's no good. So because the consumers are sharp and attentive and angry and hunting for good stuff, with strong consumers, it makes good, strong products, you know. And with something like traditional paper, nobody knows anything about this. So the quality, just as a matter of course, just decays and decays and decays. Whatever. Sorry about to be the grumbly old man, whatever. So. And it just emphasizes to us now, there's sort of a, coming down the track towards us now, there's an existential crisis. It's not tomorrow, it's not next week, but coming down the track. The paper we're using, Iwano-san's paper, they really are the last man standing, the last people with some sense of what makes a good, beautiful, rich body sheet of paper for making traditional prints. He's 99 or 89 or something, I don't know. Jun-san, his son, is in his 50s. There's no apprentice. So I don't know, more and more I'm realizing that we, at some point now, we are going to have to start making paper. If we don't, then we're going to be in real trouble somewhere down the line. Kurodani Washi, one of the best brand names in the business. to try and follow along, what's going on here. Someone's saying, can we get a group of printers together to invest in paper makers? We are doing this. We are educating our consumers. We ourselves are demanding high quality. But we don't have enough business to keep 10 paper makers in business. We are part of a group of people, us and Adachi and the Kumiai people, ordering paper from Iwano-san. We don't have enough orders ourselves to keep a single family in business, but that's how we're speaking with our consumers, buying prints from us, buying from Iwano-san. So we are trying to be the serious, high-quality consumer, and we never, ever complain about prices. He sometimes ups the price on us, depending as the kozo gets more expensive, and we just say, hi, okay. We never complain about it. So we're doing what we can by educating people, whatever, using the best quality stuff we can, passing it through, But we ourselves can't change the world. All we can do is, why is his paper the best? What I say, history. He's the 9th generation of his family doing it there. Iwano-san is the 9th generation. His son Jun-san is the 10th generation. And they've been doing it for a very, very long time. In any industry, like the paper-making industry there, over the years, when there was lots and lots and lots of workshops, they weren't all the same. Some workshops were just average workshops. Some workshops tried to compete on price and made it cheaper and all good. Some workshops tried to make it really high quality, went for the top end of the market. He's all that's left now. In essence, it's still the same thing. Iwano-san has gone for the top end of the market. The paper from Kurodani Washi, it was actually expensive yesterday. But it was expensive because I was buying it at retail. I wasn't buying it from Kurodani Washi. If I was buying it directly from them, the price, I guess, would be something similar to Iwano-san. I don't really know. I haven't approached them. I'm not about to approach them. You can't buy one sheet of paper from a paper maker. You have to buy 500 sheets or whatever their minimum is, of course. Ozuwashi buys packs from the paper makers and sells them retail one by one, so the price is much more expensive. So there's nothing really wrong with what's happening here. It's a natural thing. The problem is the market has shrunk to such a degree the consumers don't know the quality. So of course, as a matter of course, this is what's happened. It's a natural thing. 石川さん、ちょっと待って。はい、おはようございます。今8時ですね。12時ぐらい。夜の間12時半ぐらい宣伝出したんですが、今9枚。
あれね。
傘ね。傘9枚ですね。そう。1人が3枚頼んだ。そう。妖怪は5、10、15、18ですね。18は22ですね。そう。だから、おめでとうございます。そう。見ました？そう。どうかな？20
年ぶりに。
何だ？それいいですね。そう。でも英語わかりますか？
わかりました。
だからout of the park とか。
そういうのはもうちょっと。分かんなかった。だ
から結構難しいものでしょ。だから検討厳しいし、昔多かったとか5分とか金属で石川さんが頑張ったんですから、she hit it out of the park。
そこ分かんなかった。
もうホームラン。ホームラン ？out of the park。ベースボールのパークでしょ。このパークですが、hit it out of the park という言葉はホームランでしょ。
そう、ホームランか。そう。やったね。
そう。じゃないですか？
あそこ分かんなかった。ありがとうございます。そうか、ホームランか。
はい。
ごめんね。あと紙はいつ動作しました？
今日するのね。今日する。そう。だから今日は何
ある。
逃げちゃうでしょ。私今日早く来るかなと、she's gonna come early かな。だからベストバシ5時設置しました。そう。
だから土日は。
I know。でもとりあえず OK。
ありがとうございます。
はい、thank you。Excuse me. Who was that? That was Ishikawa-san. Ishikawa-san, she's printing upstairs today. She's doing some Patreon prints, back number New Year's cards for Patreon people. Have I tried the Kitaro paper? No, I've seen it. I haven't actually bought some. Our not problem, I can say our problem here is that because we're using Iwano-san's paper for all of our work, we're supporting his workshop. I'm not going to sort of cut Iwano-san off and start using somebody else, although I should actually be exploring to make sure as a backstop, plan B if Iwano-san gets hit by a car tomorrow. So no, I've heard good things about it. Most of the Kitaro paper is pulp. It's mixed. It's half and half. What they call hankusa is mostly what they sell. I think they also make what they call a kizuki, which is supposed to be 100% pure. I have a little bit of a problem with the Kitaro paper, and I would actually like to try some here. But the problem is I can't buy from them. He is the next house, literally. The Kitaro workshop is the next house from Iwano-san's house, literally. And they're chatting, they know what's going on, and I can easily imagine if I bought a batch of paper from there for trying and testing and seeing what's going on, they're walking down the street or looking over their back porch and, hey, I got an order from some foreigner over there, good David Bull, and Iwano-san's got, you got an order from who? So I can't do that at the moment. So what I should do, really, perhaps, unless this is bad news, whatever, get somebody else to buy some and give it to me and sell it to me so I can test it. So I have a bit of a problem with getting some Kitaro paper to try this, go undercover. So the paper recommendations, there are lots and lots of types of paper across country. There are still hundreds of paper makers, I know it. Paper is still a thing in Japan. The strong, tight Job paper that we use for woodblock printmaking is a very specific method of doing it. And there really are only a few families doing this. So the one making paper for a scroll maker in Kumamoto, they may be very, very nice paper, but almost certainly it will not be suitable for our work. I can tell you that right now. Paper thin enough to be used on scrolls is not suitable for traditional printmaking. Dye my beard black, wear sunglasses. Yeah, so. Actually, Karen to order from me. Send it to America. She can send it back to me. Whatever. So. What do you want us to understand? This is Japan. Hontoni, this is Japan, There's no way. Absolutely no way. Even if I sat with Iwano-san and said, look, you're dying next week. I need another papermaker. I'm going to try something else. It's still, you just can't do that. You can't do that. He's our guy and we're their guy. It would be like having a conversation saying, look, I think it's like the lady, you're talking, I think we should maybe start dating somebody else, some other people. It's that conversation. We cannot do that. There's absolutely no way we can do that. I lost my knife here. Where is it? Nanda. My chisel is missing. Nobody leave this room. Where is Nanda? Is that, no, what is it outside? Oh, it's the usual stuff, the normal garbage truck. So, I can't catch all the conversation. I'm sorry. I know. As I said, I am reading all this later on at lunchtime. If I'm missing questions and stuff, I'm sorry. If I didn't have the scope, could I work as fine? No, of course not. No, of course not. The scope, it's not, we're not super magnification here, but it is definitely helping me. The block I did the other day, the one here, I could not work at this level without magnification, absolutely. And I suspect that's not just me, it's other people too. I mean, look at the scale here. We've looked at our show and tell prints. I mean, look at the finger there. That face is well within. I mean, the whole body is within my thumbnail here. So no, I could not work at such a scale without magnification. Maybe a real hotshot younger carver with really good eyes and a nice pair of glasses could do it. I certainly can't, not at my age. So yes, absolutely. If there were no mechanical tools here, if we had no microscopes or lenses, and if there were other people working here, then clearly now my job would be relegated to preparatory work and some color blocks. I would not be doing any more key blocks. A block like this would not be my job if there were no mechanical aids for this, because I'm simply too old. Some people can do it. You know, we saw Ito-san, the carver, the guy in my video. Well, he had glasses, and also I'm sure he used one of these black lenses, you know, because there was one. We saw one of these lenses in the cupboard at the side of his printing bench. He didn't bring it out, and his pride would never let him do that when a TV company was there. And there's no shame to this. The guy was 86 or whatever he was, so there's no shame to using a lens when you're 86 years old. But you wouldn't do that on a TV program that had come to visit traditional old carver doing it the old way. But you never see them on their TV programs. You know, and me, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not ashamed at all of the fact that I use a lens here. Glasses first, then that black lens, and now this scope. It helps me see, but it doesn't help me carve. And if you think, you know, if you were thinking or something that, microscope, anybody can do that, then by all means, give it a try. Give it a try. So I find nothing shameful about using this at all. Katsuhara-san, he used it, but he never, ever, I don't want to talk about that, whatever. To me, it's dishonest, but whatever. When Dave is carving and not streaming, does he forget and start talking anyway? You mean like, like, do I talk to myself? I don't think so, but then how would I know? These days, I almost do no carving when I'm not streaming. I felt sad the other day, the timing on that yokai print. I had to do that carving, and it was a non-streaming day, but I had to get that thing going. Cameron and I were waiting. We needed to get that mailing done. So I felt a bit sad. I felt a bit like I'd cheated. I carved it off camera, and I'm sorry. I do have to do other work sometimes, not on these streams, but I did. As I was doing it, I thought, oh crap, they're going to want to see this, so. But do I talk to myself? I don't know. Like, would I admit it? I don't know. Today is going to be a sizing day upstairs. I put some glue into the water last night to soak. And as soon as I'm finished this stream here today, it's straight upstairs, and it will be all day. It's going to be a max day for sizing today. Because as it happens, the schedule of our printers, we have a DOSA calendar, a sizing calendar in our management system. And the printers have access to this. And whenever they're doing a job, like Suga-san is working on a job this week. She finished it last night. She's been working on the job, the third print in this year's subscription series. But I don't know when she's going to be finished, because the printers don't work every day here. They come on their own schedule. Suga-san does 2 days a week, whatever. She works on her own schedule. So I never know when they need their next job. So we've got this calendar buried inside a management system of our website. And the printers put on. She'll say, I need the paper for the next job next Wednesday. That's the day she needs it on her desk so she can prepare the moistening, get it ready, and going on. So Cameron and I and the OME staff, we look at the inventory that we've got, what's getting low, what's coming up, what's going on, and we shuffle around like this. And I decide who is going to do what job. And then sometime between now and that calendar date, I have to prepare the sized paper for them. And this is random. We've got 9 printers, so it comes on this calendar random, random, random. And as it happens this week, Ishikawa-san wants paper tomorrow, Kawai-san wants paper Monday morning, Suga-san wants Wednesday afternoon, Yumi-san wants Wednesday afternoon, somebody else, I forget, wants Wednesday afternoon. There's 5 or 6 of them that want paper all in the next 3 or 4 days. So today I am going to look at all those orders, get it all done, sort it out what jobs into the paper. So it's going to be, I will be working late tonight doing this. This is going to be a big full day for me. It's okay. I'm going to take my computer upstairs. I'll take my what do you call it? My not USB, my Bluetooth speaker, and I will blast some music and size all day. But what's happening also is I got a phone call last night from Mr. K, Kawai-san, one of our regular printers. He used to do print parties here, plus printing upstairs. Now he's just doing printing at home. I don't know how much this is public already. We did talk about this. The company that published the laser cut prints, the Ginza in the Rain, whatever it was, the laser cut prints on a Miyako Dori, they're doing a new edition of prints with the French couple designers on an Atelier Sento. The first set of blocks seems to be almost ready, and Mr. K, our Mr. K, is going to be the printer on this job. They need some paper. They're not going to steal my paper, and I will not sell paper. Our stock of paper from Iwano-san is our stock, and I cannot become a paper dealer. But they have found some paper, but it's not sized, and they don't know what to do. So, long story short, they're coming over today. Mr. K is coming, Kawai-san, our printer, along with Kashiwagi-san, the owner of Miyako Dori, and they are going to be here sometime around noon today, and they're bringing cameras, they're bringing tape recorders, they're bringing whatever, they're going to bring iPhones, and they're going to watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. And I've agreed that at some point during the afternoon, I will let Kawai-san put his paper on the bench. He's going to bring some paper with him. He's going to put his paper on the bench, and we'll use our size, our tub, our brush, our whatever, and he's going to have a go at doing this under my sort of, how are you doing here? Let's try this. So this is cool. This is really, really, really cool. They're not, I'm not going to sell them paper. I'm not going to size their paper. They're going to do it, but we are going to share absolutely as much as we can of the know-how so that they can move forward with this. So that's happening today. So I'm not supposed to talk about the print, and actually I don't know the details about what the image is and stuff like this. Well, a little bit. But they've asked me, it's open that this is happening, but they've asked me not to share the image and stuff like this or give any more details. So that's as far as I can say. This afternoon I will learn more, and when I'm chatting with Kashiwagi-san this afternoon, I'll say, look, can you give me an image? Can we talk about this? Cook some interest out in the market so they're ready when you're in the market. I will ask him today and see what he says. But I've got to follow his, no. Could you find their graphic novel in Japanese? I don't think it's out of print, Karen-san. I'm sure it's out there. You mean the one, no, what's it called? I had a copy, no, it's upstairs. Onibi. Onibi, I'm sure it's out there. Karen, if you can't find it, let me know. I would just write to them. The people at the, write to Atelier Sento. They're really, really approachable. Nice, super nice people. Really nice people. Is Onibi out of print? Really? We may have a few copies, whatever. I don't remember exactly, but whatever. This is funny. The Ninja Crouch. This is funny. This is funny. It's funny. It's funny. I'm having trouble with this. I got to carve as well. The Ninja Crouch. What to explain? I don't know. Who is commenting about this Ninja Crouch? How do you know about this? I myself, I'm having to learn how to do the Ninja Crouch. I talked to you about it before. Shiba-san, because she has good upper body strength, she doesn't move her body when she's sizing. She puts the paper in front of her, she grabs the brush, and she moves the brush across the paper this way without moving her body. She's a strong girl, I don't do this. I have no biceps whatsoever. I have absolutely nothing. I couldn't throw a baseball to the end of this room. So what I do is I use my body. This is good, bad, whatever. So I move my body to one side of it, lock my arm in position, and I move across the paper this way. And that gives me the control that I like. So we each do it each way. Anyway, long story short, Shiba-san's doing it her way. I've got a problem now doing the back side of this paper. When we're doing it my way on the back side, I put the brush down and start to slide across. Sometimes the top surface of the paper starts to slide a little bit. You've started here, we're moving it. Now the paper is actually sliding a little bit within the brush, but the back end of the paper can't slide in advance of the brush. So at some point, if this part of the sheet slides, and this part of the sheet doesn't move, you end up with a little ripple. There's a ripple in the paper where the part that moved scrunches up about the part of the paper that doesn't move. So Dave here doing it with his body like this, the paper's moving a little bit, ripple, and away we go. So I get my finished sheets, and there's a ripple or a crease part way down. Shiba-san doesn't get this, because what she's doing is pinning the paper at one end. Where's my hand here? Pinning it and going grrr. And because it's pinned, the paper doesn't slide. Dave here is having to do this. So more and more and more on the back side of these sheets. Front side doesn't matter. It can slide because they're dry. It doesn't make any difference. But on the back side, we can't do it my way because the paper slides. So Dave here is going to have to learn how to do this on the back side. Get the brush ready, get your body ready, pin it with my right hand. Pin it with my right hand and just move my left hand with the brush across. So she's the one who has got the, quote, real way to do this better than me, and her way is advantageous. So I don't know. At my age now, should I get to the gym and start doing stuff and push-ups and building up some biceps to help me with sizing? Like I need this problem? So we were doing this the other day. You know the approach I'm thinking about already. Let's see, what can I do? If I built a little machine, it stood there and I put the sheet of paper and it clipped. Technological solution. When it doesn't need a technological solution, it just needs a combination of this and this. We're going to see how it goes. I don't know. So what's going to happen today, as we're doing this, I will be talking about this with Mr. K, Kawai-san. Now he's a young guy. He's 40, 42. He's not in great shape, but he's almost certainly got more biceps than me. So he probably will not have any trouble with this. But he will have to decide which system to use, move his body or move his arm. I have no video documentation from the old days, but almost certainly they would have moved their arm, I think. Well, I shouldn't say so because I don't know. How's our time? Are we okay? I keep forgetting to look at the time here. A few more minutes. We're okay. 15 more minutes. I think the balance between talk here and work here has got out of control this stream. I'm sorry. There's just too much interesting stuff going on. It looks like you're having fun today, are you? I'm sorry I missed the stream, you know. I would enjoy being a member of this chat, you know, but I can't do it. Do I understand? You mean me? Do I understand Japanese? Yeah, I get around, and I don't read and write. I don't write it at all. Of the four skills, you know, the comprehension, speaking, and reading and writing. Of physically writing, I do none, zero. I can type it into a computer, but I cannot physically write at all. Of that skill, I have zero. Normal speaking, of course, normal conversation, no problem at all. I can even give speeches, whatever you name it, it's okay. My Japanese is in no way native level, and it never will be, of course, absolutely. I will always have a very strong accent. I can't seem to shake that. on times when I sit down and think about it, Dave, speak without an accent. I can do it for a minute or two, but then you forget in the normal sense of being fluent and just letting go of the barriers and speaking, my accent reverts back to the foreign accent. So I will always have that. I try on the phone sometimes. When I'm answering the phone, before you pick it up, you remember, Dave, remember, do this without an accent. And if the conversation is short enough, I can get away with it. And the person maybe might not know that I'm not a Japanese person. But if it goes more than a minute or 2 minutes and there's a real flow back and forth, that's it. I cannot maintain it. I cannot keep the conscious level that says, Dave, suppress your accent. So of course, at that level, everybody knows I'm a foreigner. So. Actually, the same thing happened to me in reverse the other day. There was a phone call here from somebody with one of those YouTube partner channels. They wanted us to work with them to get more views for our channel and partner channel and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not interested at all. But when the phone call came in, he introduced himself. And I thought it was a Japanese at first. Although I didn't think about it, I just thought it was a normal phone call from some normal Japanese person. But then after the conversation went on, the 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, I realized, wait a minute, there's something about this guy's language. And the same thing was happening to him as I've just described happening to me. You can keep it up for a while, but there's a limit to how long you can keep it up. And he let his slip, and it became apparent that this person too was just like me. We were speaking Japanese. This was bizarre. And he's probably American or British or something, but our phone conversation was completely in Japanese because he had phoned a Japanese company to talk to them, and he was, acting on behalf of his Japanese company. So it's curious. I mean, he knew I was a foreigner because he knew he was trying to phone me, and I said my name. So he knew I was a foreigner anyway, but I didn't know him. And in fact, his name was a Japanese name. It's very curious, Drills? Zzz, zzz, zzz. Somebody working outside? No idea. Is it compulsory to wear your mask when walking outside in Japan? Socially, yes. There's no law about this, but 99.9999999% of people are, of course, doing this. Yesterday, I went out to get my lunch there at that shop, and I came back from lunch, and I happened to be walking on the sidewalk, and I could smell cigarette smoke. And the guy in front of me, he's walking and smoking, which is illegal. There's a bylaw against that here. And he's got his mask dangling in one hand, he's smoking in the other hand, and he's coughing. I'm like, I can smell the cigarette smoke. So already, if I can smell the smoke, it means like whatever. So I crossed the road. There's no way. I am out of there. But mostly, yes, people here are, of course, they line up. They line up. Do I need to sign for parcels, write address? No, I can write that level of stuff. I can't sit down and write a letter to somebody with all the characters. I can write my name and address and things like this, things that repeat all the time. Signing for parcels doesn't happen anymore because of the corona. There's no more signing. They just drop them and run. You've seen the guys here each morning do this. Speaking of the shops on our street, John, you got to tell them the blue awning there, right? The one we can see. Should we pop it up a minute here? Shops on our street, the blue awning, right bang in the middle of your screen there. One of Tokyo's most famous shops. They're getting a delivery right now, are they? That delivery's going, no, he's going to the coffee shop next door. No, he's going down the street, no idea. The Blue Awning is the most famous whale restaurant in Tokyo. I've been in the building because I've talked to the guy. I've been in for meetings and stuff, but I've never eaten there. Won't be eating there. He wants me to. He's got a free dinner for me anytime I want to come over there. And, no, thank you, sir. No, thank you. He's a nice enough guy, but just no, thank you. I think I should be careful what I say. He is getting old. He had some kind of a stroke a while back, and he's lost a bit of his right-hand side. He walks with one arm a bit of a dangly, and he limps a little bit. So he's had a bit of a stroke. So he's not that much older than me. In fact, he may be my age, I guess. I don't know. So the other guys are gathering the competition to become the next, the next kaicho, the next leader of this association is there. I'm not part of this at all. But there are three, what we call fukukaicho, vice chairman or vice president. There are three of them. There's usually only one. But this time, the power struggle, it used to be the guy who was the jeweler in this building. So when he left, they had to decide who's going to be the next fukukaicho, which means that's the sort of person in line to be the next kaicho. And there's three of them now. They couldn't settle on who it was to be, so they had their little power struggles and stuff like that. I'm no part of this whatsoever. So now there are three vice presidents of the street association here. And if something happens to the president, Kaicho-san, and he retires or dies or something, there's obviously going to be there's going to be blood on the sidewalks. I don't know. Like I said, I'm right out of it. I do nothing about the politics here. I'm a new kid. I've only been here 7 years. And I'm not going to play that stuff. My Japanese is nowhere near good enough for it. I don't have the abilities to do this kind of job. It means networking, going to speak to the city office mayor and doing the wheeling and dealing with the yakuza in the background. Not for me, not for me, not for me. But it's really fun to watch. The cat sound, somebody submitted an application for the 8 views of cats. I guess you've already known what it is. Yeah, Vivid KP's got it. Someone submitted an application. I'll look at it later. Vow your allegiance to one and change allegiances. But if you do that and you pick the wrong, if you pick the wrong horse, if you back the wrong horse, so I don't know. How good is my Japanese? Actually, what do you want to say? I can get around. I have never studied Japanese. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to have great Japanese. Just I live here, and I can speak to people and get around and buy property and run a business and whatever. So my Japanese is good enough to to do that, good enough to pay taxes and run a business with 20 employees. But I've never taken tests. Am I on the, whatever it's called, the ACAN level? I have 0. I have never taken a test, never will take a test. I'm not interested in that stuff. My life at time is better spent on doing what I do here rather than testing myself. So my Japanese is really full of holes. There's stuff that a grade 1 kid knows that I don't know, and there's lots of stuff I know that he doesn't know. But no, I make no claim whatsoever to being a wonderful Japanese speaker. Absolutely none. I'm a hacker with the language in the same way that I'm a hacker with computer programming. I get a lot of stuff done, but if a real pro came along and looked inside, he would face palm. But we are productive, 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 productive. Some of our employees here, Cameron-san, Rose-san, they've actually studied, as in gone to college and taken Japanese and done the exams and all that kind of stuff. So they're head and shoulders above me, absolutely. Cameron knows many more Ryukugo compound words. He knows many more kanji. He can write, as in physically sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper. No, I'm a hacker. Absolutely, I'm a hacker. But we get stuff done. I said I've never studied. I did take one course back in Canada before we came here when my wife was pregnant with our first daughter, Himi-chan, my daughter, just in a few months before she was born. UBC, the college, university where I actually went back in the 60s, they allowed outside people to audit some of the courses. And I audited Japanese 101 with one term. It was Soga Sensei. And I crapped all over the place. The idea of sitting in a desk and sitting this, and the textbook was classic. This is 1983 or 84 or something. And literally the first page is, Kore wa pen desu. This is a pen. I mean, that's, oh my God. Well, whatever, I did it. I sat there and I did it. It was maybe a 4-week course or a 5-week course or something. I don't know what it was. I went through it because I was sort of, my wife was Japanese, so I was, do what you can to try and learn more about this, so. And it ended, and because I was auditing, I didn't take any written tests. Part of it, I don't read and write. But there was a, what do you call it? When you sit with a teacher and they chat with you in the language. It's a verbal test. I don't know the word for it. A verbal, he asked me some questions and how well I could answer and stuff like this. And I crapped all over that one as well. But I had an excuse for this one. The test was like Monday morning, and my daughter was born Friday night. And it was a difficult birth. Took 2 days, whatever, long story short. So I was a zombie. I was a walking zombie. I hadn't even thought about looking or studying at the book for easily a week. I hadn't been to bed for 3 days. I walk in there. I probably haven't had a shower. And he's, I'm like, Kore wa pen desu. I don't remember. So UBC, they gave me a P. I got a P on this thing, and it was the oral exam. Yes, so oral exam. Thanks. It was funny. That's the extent of my Japanese study. It's 9:14. 1 minute early. Whatever. What a chatty time this has been. P for present, exactly. P for past or present or whatever. He must be long dead now, Soga Sensei. The thing is, he had written the book himself, so all the students had to buy his textbook. This is the way they do these sort of things. And literally, page 1, Kore wa pen desu. Watashi no pen desu. I mean, that's what studying French was like when I was in school in 1957, What's the French for it? I don't know, whatever French I knew. Japanese has blown it out. I can't even say, what's this the first sentence in a French textbook. It's about a pen. I know, this is my pen. What do they say? I can't remember. It's all gone. Totally, it's all gone. Plume. Le plume de ma tante. Something, this is the pen of my hand. I need a mix. Korewa la plume de ma tante. I can't do this. So, c'est mon pen. French, I had such trouble with French, because I studied, quote, all through 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school, a year of college, whatever. So I've got like 7 or 8 years of French. So back in 2001 or something, Sadako and I, we visited Matt Brown in Boston. And then after we left Matt's place, we went up to Quebec to spend a couple of days in Montreal. And she's like, can you speak French? And I'm like, well, high school, I'm okay, I can handle this. I can get us a restaurant or whatever, go to a hotel. I can handle that much. I can't do intellectual conversation, So we arrive at the hotel in Quebec City, whatever, or Montreal. Montreal it was first, And the clerk is, blah, 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 and Dave just is like, come have a room. And Sadako looks at me, I thought you could do this. And I'm like, it's been a while. Okay, on auction goods. This one is fun. Let me take a second here to find a link. These just arrived yesterday. These are 3 separate auctions somebody put up on Yahoo Auctions last week. It's a typical story. I've said the same story before many, many, many times. Nobody else bid on these things. Nobody at all. So there were 3 auctions. One was 2,100 yen, one was 1,000 yen, and one was 1,100 yen or something. And here's what the auctions looked like. Here's one of the 3 auctions. You said French, not Quebecois. I should have thought of that. I never thought of that. The thing is, I think, in an adult, there's buckets. Like my prime language is English. Then in school, I learned a little bit of French on top. So there's this little bucket that's my second language bucket, and a little bit of French was in there. But then moving to Japan, Japanese becomes my second language. And what I had thought was that, well, there's just a new bucket with Japanese in it. But no, Japanese was going into the second language bucket, and it just blew away. It blew away any French that was in there. Absolutely. That's my excuse anyway. So French now, I have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Midoriya, yeah, we know this guy. Have you had dealings with him? Man, has he got some junk? Whatever. Anyway, whatever. You pick and you choose. Nobody else wanted these, so I put it in and picked it. So use it or lose it. Absolutely. Use it or lose it. Midoriya. Jack Conter, you're buying from these people, are you? You have some experience here. Are you bidding against me now then? Probably. Okay, what we have here, this is a story. We tell the same story here on these show and tells all the time. These are pages from a Teihon. We saw 1 or 2 weeks ago here, we saw the same thing. Remember the yellow book I showed you that had been taken apart and rebound? This is from the same thing. There's no cover here. These are torn, not torn sheets, but they are separated sheets. Some of them are still attached together. This group here, this group is still attached the way they were bound when the thing was bound together, and some of them are now loose sheets. And I don't know why he did this, but he did them on 3 separate auctions, a group of 8, a group of 11, and a group of 6. So the whole thing together, 4,500 yen. So $45 or whatever this cost me. And what they are, as I said, we've seen this story before. This is from a Teihon, which is an instruction of how to, I was going to say draw/paint. Because in a world of Japanese brushes, drawing and painting and writing are all done with the same tool. So it's funny there in English. We have a verb to draw, and the idea meaning a picture. We have the verb to write, and that means A, B, C. In Japanese, it's kaku. It's a single verb because it's a single tool, and the brush to draw your kanji is the same brush you do to make your pictures. So the whole way of thinking about this is totally, absolutely different based on the structure of the language. Kaku, means write your name. Kaku means draw a picture of a tree. So what they are, as I said, it's an instruction manual for drawing pictures. And I don't know what grade level this would have been aimed at. I have no cover. I know nothing about this. All we can see is go through it. This is not grade 1 kids who are trying to do this now. This is something a bit more sophisticated. Instead of a tree, there's a tree. This is now different types of trees. I think that's a tree shape. I don't think this is kanji. I think these are trees. Somebody's asking here, Korin, but I don't know. Again, I haven't even actually inspected these. Excuse me. I just opened enough to confirm that I bought it and sent through to the guy. So I haven't inspected this. Let's have a look at these together. I don't think specifically bonsai. I think it's simply this again. It's to show the kids how your brush moves when you're drawing branches. There's a couple of different types of branches here. And these are images that would be copied. The kid would put the book at one side of the table. He's got a sheet of paper. And first job is simply copy exactly what you see. Copy this plum tree. Copy this cherry tree. And the kid would try and replicate exactly at first. Then replicate again, replicate again, replicate again. And eventually you start drawing your own trees because you've got the fundamentals of tree drawing. It's not a book about trees. Next page is going to be something completely different. And this now, even though it's a tehon, even though it's a manual for how to paint, it's art in itself. These are interesting. And this is all done, of course, why they're here. This is all done with woodblock printmaking. In the old days, before the culture developed schools for everybody, kids learned with a single instructor. The instructor draws, the kid draws. The instructor draws, the kid draws. But once you move to mass education, each teacher in every classroom doesn't know how to do this. These tehon books became really, really important. But very Japanese to show. Tons of white space, minimal brush strokes. This is a Chinese base of this stuff, Chinese roots. Actually, I've seen some of these before. I have part of this book upstairs, actually. We may have actually the whole book upstairs, or over in Ome. I've seen some of these before. Ah, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is fun. Where have we seen this, right? What's the deal in West? You draw the oval, and then you draw the oval, and you draw the oval, and here's how you go. But it's funny, they're in Western, well, they're not all in Western clothes. Some are in kimono, and some are in Western clothes. Look at this. Did I steal that dragonfly? No, no, not at all. We stole a different dragonfly. The dragonfly we stole for our, the dragonfly we stole this year had wings going up, the show. So, it's so what's that meme where you show people how to do stuff? It's step 1, step 2, finished. Oops, something's missing inside, So, circle, circle, final product. So, how to draw I think it was how to draw an owl. Was that where that meme started? Oval, oval, owl. Are these that's the order from the real book, really? Or someone stuck these together? I don't think so. These look like pretty stuck together things here. This is very much influenced on things like Chinese. If you look up Ten Bamboo Studio, this is very much classical Chinese watercolor type stuff done with a Japanese feel. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. It's almost like technical drawing. Whoa, look at this. These have got to be random things pasted together. There's no way they make any sense as a stream here. This is different grade level completely. Look at this. This is difficult stuff. Is that a dead bird? I don't know. How to draw a dead bird. Circle, 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 dead bird. Remember, what you're seeing here, this is not brushwork. What you're seeing here are woodblock prints. Someone has done the brushwork. A painter painted this with a brush first as a master copy. That was then replicated in woodblock. So what we are seeing here is a woodblock print in imitation of a watercolor painting designed to be a guide to help people do watercolor painting. This is not a woodblock printmaking manual. But these other sheets here are all torn out, separated. Which way? I'm seeing the same seal, so this specific book must have been prepared by a specific designer. Same seal. I can't read it. I don't know who it is. So, Tsuru, crane. The seals are the same, yes. So. There's good source material here, you know. If I were trying to draw, this is exactly the kind of stuff you want to learn how to use, you know, how to make your brush move. I'm not quite sure what kind of bird that is. That's group one. Let's move through here. Flip through. Let's see what else, what other treasures we have. Oh, look at this. Is it upside down? No. That looks upside down, you know. It is upside down. This is fun. Insects, snails, frogs, spiders, and butterflies. Wasps. We have a real good wasp nest. Look at this. This is fun. Oh, yes, semi. We have a real selection here of insects. These are nicely done, you know. What are they, ants? I don't think those are done so well. Crickets. There's a good selection here. Very nice. Very nice. Interesting. Would this be typical buildings of the day? You know, a book like this dates from somewhere just over, maybe it's 110 or 120 years old, somewhere about 1900. I can't date this with any real accuracy, but that era is when these things were really, 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 really common. And out in the Japanese countryside, this is of course what you've got. There's no tile roofs out there. It's all straw in this era, absolutely. So this would be a realistic depiction, not of downtown Tokyo, but of other places out in the countryside, absolutely. Someone says, why is this book so cheap? Because nobody wants this stuff. These are a dime a dozen. You go into the used bookshops in Jimbocho, and they probably won't even have this on display because they don't think anybody wants it. Ask the guy at the counter, do you have any Tehon or Tehon pages? This is a dime a dozen. Remember, every kid was issued this sort of stuff back in 1895, 2020, 1900, 1905, 1910, 1920. Every kid was issued these. So these things were just dirt cheap. Most of them would end up being thrown away, of course. Morning Glory, Asagao. And none of this is great art. It's of interest to me simply as part of our own concept of studying how woodblock printmaking was used here in Japan over the past few hundred years. Our interest in printmaking isn't just beautiful Bijinga pictures. Our interest in printmaking is the technology, how things were made, why they were made, where they were used. And our collection it loves stuff like this. You know. Tehon copybook, so model pattern. Firefly. I've seen many of these before, these insects. We've got another book upstairs that replicates a number of these. Is that what? Is that a camellia or a peony? I can't tell. I don't know if that's all that well done. I'm sorry. I don't know. Art critic Dave here. I don't know about that one. That's that. And one last volume. Oh, they're all part of the same thing. I don't know why, Mr. Here we are. Oh, more insects. Look, it must be from the same book. You know, the guy's broken up the book. Look at this. These again are nice. Very, very happy with this. Look at how well these are done. Funny, they're all mixed, you know, the delicate, careful tracery of these drawn biologically correct, and then the splash with the bigger brush, you know, they don't fit together at all. We see the same seal coming back again and again. It's probably a known seal. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. Returning sails. So. This one looks like a Western ship for sure. The rest of them seem Japanese. Just a couple more, I guess. Very, very simplistic. And what's the last? We finish off. That's the last one. What have we got here? Minimalist. What have we got here? It's the same designer. Descending geese. I don't know. You say it's a dud. I don't know. It's not interesting, but I guess it's artistic. You know, I don't know. Why would this be in a book like that, though? Are the kids going to try doing this? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Would you try and have the kid try and do this? It's a landscape, a very abstract landscape. It just doesn't fit with the rest, does it? Zen, so very much something. I don't even think it's done all that well. I don't know. I'm not anybody to criticize. We can't leave that one as the finished one. Let's leave this maple tree. So. Okay, there we have it. Again, nothing special in our show and tell today, just another example of how woodblock printmaking really was such an important part of Japanese culture for so many years. We will put these in the collection one day, but I'm sorry, this is way down the pile. We have lots more interesting stuff to go in the collection before we get to something like this. So Tom, yes, it will go in, but do not hold your breath. What would go in the collection first is some of the complete, we have a bunch of complete teihon. So we will put those books in as complete books. Stuff like this, miscellaneous scraps, it's going to be a long time before they get there, I'm sorry. So as John's saying, woodblock printing was printing. It was the printing business here in Japan. So we've got food wrappers, menus, books, you name it, made by Japanese woodblock printmaking. It was just the printing business. So this is a good example of that. Okay, it's Saturday morning here. I am now, as I said, I am sizing. So I am now going to get up there, heat up some glue, and spend the rest of the day slaving over a hot stove. I'll be back here Monday morning, 48 hours from now, minus 90 minutes. I'll be back Monday morning, and probably it'll be more dog. I'll be still carving on this dog still for quite a while. Thanks very much. And also, I see the order book. Cameron sent out that thing last night, and there are a ton of orders. So thank you very much if anybody here is among those people who have ordered it. Ishikawa-san, especially, it's just so warm for her when she sees that people really actually want her stuff. So if you're involved in that, thank you very much for that support. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks again for watching. If I talked too much today, I'm sorry. Whatever, things are what they are. Let's pull up the outside view once more before I leave. No special floater today, nay. Morning in Asakusa. Oh, it's Saturday morning. It's the weekend. Yes, it's going to be busy here today. It's going to be a busy day, bright sunshine. Okay, I've got to get to work. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye for now.